It's semi-final night in the TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup, and we're at Hensley Athletic Field to see whether the Marconi Stallions or Manly United will book a date in the Cup final on July 14. Yes, hello and welcome across the Football New South Wales channels. Tony Tanous with you for this all-important Waratah Cup semi-final. It's great to have your company. Remember, we're live, interactive, so be sure to comment throughout, share the live stream, and if you are on Twitter, use the hashtag Waratah Cup. It's time to take a look at the lineups, and Marconi, the hosts here. Welcome back Connor Evans after a long injury layoff. The full lineup for Peter Tsakenis' side: in goals, Nenad Vekic, a back four of Peter Pelikanos, Nathan Milgate, Roberto Speranza and Giorgio Speranza. The midfield three of Liam Yulee, Brandon Vella and Connor Evans. And a front three of Yanni Nicolau, Richie Cardozo and Marco Jesic. As for Manly United, it's a mixture of experience and youth for the starting 11. In goals, Dylan Mitchell, a back four of Kieran Paul, Lachlan McGrath, Sam Gallagher and Lewis Michio. The holding midfielders, Dom Ferguson and Finn Ashton, and a front four of Charles Mendy, Dejan Panjurovic behind Harry McCarthy and Adam Parkhouse on the left. It will be Manly kicking us off in the white tops. Their away strip, they are the designated away side here. Marconi in the green, running from left to right. And we're about set to get going here in the TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup semi-final for 2019. Stephen Lucas, our official, getting proceedings underway, and it will be Manly first in possession. They're happy to move it through the back patiently here. Sam Gallagher looking to switch out to Charles Mendy. What a battle that looms. Charles Mendy against Giorgio Speranza. We've already seen that throughout the season. In fact, it was only a few weeks ago, back in round 15, in fact, at Cromer Park. A terrific battle on that occasion. Manly coming out trumps with a 1-0 victory over Marconi at home. And Charles Mendy it was, with the only goal of the game, created so much havoc down that right side. So certainly one to watch tonight. Brandon Vella picking up the ball, looking to combine with Yanni Nicolau. Now Panjurovic trying to apply the press on Liam Yulee. Now it's the Speranza brothers, Roberto and Giorgio, sharing it around at the back. Looking to hit Marco Jesic, is playing on the left side of attack here. Manly now coming forward through Lewis Michio, trying to find Adam Parkhouse. Down that left-hand side. Marconi looking to play off Jesic, who picks up the loose ball. Connor Evans getting his first touch in the first team since the early part of the season. I mentioned a long-term injury. Great to see Connor Evans, one of the key signings in the off-season, back in the starting 11 for Marconi Stallions. He's featured in the centre of midfield alongside Liam Yulee, and Brandon Vella has had a couple of games back in the youth side or the under-20s. Played in the past 2 weeks for Marconi's under-20s. Deemed ready to make his first team return tonight. Ball going forward, looking to get Panjurovic in behind here. What an opportunity early on. Good drive out of midfield from the player who caused so much havoc to the Mount Druitt Town Rangers in the elimination final a fortnight ago. Manly, of course, having to play one extra game in the Waratah Cup final. Appeals for a penalty there, waved away by Scott Lucas. It was Dom Ferguson getting forward from the midfield. Now Marconi, the high press comes though from Manly, making it difficult to get out. Good work from Finn Ashton, the youngster, who impressed in that game against Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Came off the bench early in that one for Dom Ferguson. Really impressed. There he is battling away. One of the key battles in that midfield. So Finn Ashton and Dom Ferguson, the two holding midfielders here for Paul D's side. Mentioned that extra game that they did have to play. 5 teams qualifying for the FFA Cup round of 32. At that particular point, that's when the Waratah Cup gets underway. So the draw scheduled the Mount Druitt Town Rangers against Manly in the elimination final. Terrific contest it was at Valentine Sports Park a fortnight ago. Manly coming out victorious by 2-0, which sees them here against Marconi. Mendy with an early chance to go at Georgia Speranza. Dom Ferguson happy to keep possession here through Kieran Paul. Pendurovic playing in the number 10 role tonight. No Brendan Chalakian from the start. In fact, no Brendan Chalakian in the squad tonight. A couple of niggling injuries. So he's given a rest tonight. The other regular first team players out for Manly United. Travis Orchard suspended after the red card he incurred on the weekend against the Sutherland Sharks. As Marconi come forward. Yes, it was. Trying that first time volley. Certainly worth the hit. Player we know, technically gifted. Certainly can produce an outrageous goal or two. Marko Jesic, already seen that this season. Couldn't get that one on target. So no Travis Orchard for Manly United, which means that Lachlan McGrath, who was so impressive against Mount Druitt Town Rangers, the youngster, played it right back in that game. So he's playing in central defence alongside the skipper in Sam Gallagher. McGrath's got a bit of work to do here. Does well to knock it down to Kieran Paul. As I said, really impressive in that elimination final. McGrath, as was Ashton. Got a couple of youngsters as well who caught the eye on the bench. Max Rogers is one of those. Luca Kmet also on the bench tonight. Marconi coming forward. Marconi also missing some key first team regulars. No Mitch Malia, who was also red carded on the weekend in that 0-0 draw for Marconi against Sydney United. So no Mitch Malia. Also Zach Cancross and Sean O'Connell given a rest tonight. But it's Yanni Nicolau coming forward down the right hand side. Working back. Parkhouse just helping out Michio, who gets it forward here. Millgate, seen him throughout the season, slotting into the centre of defence, particularly when there's been no Zach Cancross, and that's where Millgate is tonight. Playing alongside Giorgio Roberto Speranza, in fact, in the heart of that Marconi defence. Millgate, such an experienced player, tasted so much success in recent years with the Apia Leichhardt Tigers. In fact, lifting the Waratah Cup trophy last year with the Apia Leichhardt Tigers, courtesy of that victory over Hakoah. He's got a bit of defending to do here. Leaves it for Roberto Speranza. Another player out today for Marconi. He's been out for a few weeks. Anthony Frangi. He's been a regular feature also in the Waratah Cup finals. Like Millgate, he's featured in the last two for Hakoah. Moved across to Marconi in the off-season. Good to see him limbering up and having a run, running freely around the running track here ahead of this game. Pressure coming here on the youngster in McGrath. Had to be sure of his touch. Eventually they get it forward to another of the youngsters, 17-year-old Harry McCarthy. And he gets it out to Mendy now. Chance to run at Marconi. Mendy tries it on the left foot. Not a bad effort there. Good work from McCarthy. 17-year-old playing in the number 9 role with the number 9 on his back. Manly United junior. Spent some time at Sydney FC in the academy over there. He's come back during the transfer window. And he gets a start here for the second consecutive game for Paul D's side. Started in that 5-0 loss to Sutherland Sharks on the weekend. Coming forward, Giorgio Speranza. Now he's got it over the top. Nicolau couldn't quite get over the top of that one. Good battle that one. Yanni Nicolau, Lewis Michio, two players who have spent some time in the A-League Academy systems. Nicolau at Wanderers. Michio spent some time at Central Coast. Milgate gets it forward. Now it falls to Panjurovic. Lit up that elimination final a fortnight ago. Got the opening goal for Manly, courtesy of a deflection. Dejan Panjurovic was featured on the right side of the attack, but here he is in the number 10 role, trying to trigger the attack. Just slightly overhit on that pass to Michio, finding a couple of pockets of space between the lines early. Dejan Panjurovic, very talented footballer, a huge part of Manly's success in 2017. Been mixed fortunes for both these sides in recent weeks in the NPL competition. Manly slipping outside the top 5 on the weekend, courtesy of that 5-0 loss to the Sharks. Still on 23 points, but they've gone behind Sydney Olympic on goal difference after Olympics win over the weekend as well. What a battle that'll be on Sunday, round 18 of the New South Wales National Premier League. Olympic have moved into 5th spot, visiting Manly United at Cromer Park. So many big games around this time of the season. And the coaches, limited squad depth, they really have to rotate the squads, and we've seen a few youngsters get the opportunity in this one tonight. He's one of them in McCarthy. Good feet from him. Eventually, one of Marconi's youngsters in Nicolau gets a foot in. He and Vela can't quite keep it. 2 games, 2 semi-finals running simultaneously across the TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup. Semi-finals. Certainly keep you posted on proceedings at the Densell Park Sydney United Sports Centre, where Sydney United are hosting NPL2 St George FC, 2 of the storied clubs in Australian football. Big opportunity for NPL2 St George, but here's an opportunity now for Marconi. Giorgio Speranza venturing forward, combining with Evans. Who peels back out to the left-hand side. Mendy working back though for Manly. They find Panjurovic, who can get it out to Mendy. Still going. Good combination with Panjurovic. Lovely feet. Dejan Panjurovic lines one up. Took a deflection in the end. Taming safely through to Nenad Vekic. But Panjurovic looks in the mood, as does Charles Mendy. Probably the 2 key players, certainly for Paul D's side. Their combination, one of the features of this clash. Marconi with Jesic on the left-hand side. Richie Cardozo in that number 9 role, such an experienced NPL New South Wales player. In fact, Richie Cardozo was part of Manly's side and they were last in the Waratah Cup final back in 2016. Played with many of the players featured in the Manly squad this season. Foul coming there against Liam Yuli. Again, great feet from Dejan Panjurovic. Starting to hit his straps. Slow start, probably returned a little bit late. Did Dejan Panjurovic in the pre-season. Couple of niggles early on. Now he looks in great form. Lovely touch again, trying to trigger Mendy down that right-hand side. But another former Manly United player, Roberto Speranza. He featured in the Manly side that also lost the 2014 Waratah Cup final to Blacktown City. Great story. Roberto Speranza was in that Manly side. His brother Giorgio was part of the Blacktown City side in that 2014 Waratah Cup final. And here they are, both playing for Manly, both playing for Marconi in a Waratah Cup semi-final. Roberto brings this one down on the chest. So much Waratah Cup history between these two sides. Excellent switch here from Liam Yuli, trying to find Jesic. Going to work Kieran Paul. What a battle that'll be. Two of the big guns in the New South Wales men's top tier. Now Evans switches it out to Peter Pelikanos. Getting another opportunity in the starting 11. Pelikanos at right back. Regular throughout last season. Was excellent for Marconi in the FFA Cup Round 7 qualifier against Sydney Olympic. Jesic looking inside. Trying to get forward from left back was Giorgio Speranza. Kieran Paul alert to his defensive responsibility there. Chance to set up with a long throw here. Millgate to come forward from central defence. We know about his aerial strength. The flick on from Millgate. Alert defending though from Sam Gallagher. What a key man he is, Millgate, in the attacking set pieces. Saw that right throughout the FFA Cup last year, and what an opportunity. Cardozo's gone down. The referee thought about it, and he's pointed to the spot. The youngster, McGrath, drawn into a tackle there. Richie Cardozo's gone down, and it's an early penalty here to the Marconi Stallions. Millgate was the target. We talk about the havoc that he can create. His sheer presence in the box. The ball fell. Cardozo was through on goal, and he drew the challenge. And it's an early opportunity here from the penalty spot. 17 minutes in at Hensley. And it's Marconi with the chance to take the lead. Marco Jesic it is. Faced by Mitchell. Jesic steps up and puts it past Dylan Mitchell. And it is the Stallions who take a 1-0 lead here in the TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup semi-final of 2019. Marconi 1, Manly United 0. Millgate causing that havoc. Staying up from a set piece. The ball came back in. And Richie Cardozo, talk about the experience of these two players in the Waratah Cup. And it's come to the fore early. Jesic puts it away. 18 minutes in, and it's the Stallions who take a 1-0 lead. It's the first goal Manly have conceded in the Cup's run this season. 5 games before this one. They've kept a clean sheet in all 5 games. And that first goal has come from the penalty spot. Looking to hit back quickly here. Panjurovic with the first time ball out to Parkhouse. Millgate's defending at the near post. Now Michio picking up the second ball. Can he keep it in? Flag's gone up on that far side. Land screen shield. Our assistant referee on the far side. Nathan Watson on the near side. And our 4th official, Ben Abrahams, supporting Stephen Lucas. Experienced set of officials for this big Waratah Cup semi-final. Hope you're enjoying the coverage early on here. Marconi lead 1-0. Keep you posted on proceedings at Densell Park. Sydney United Sports Centre remains 0-0 after 25 minutes. Sydney United 58 taking on St George FC. The giant killers of this year's Cup. Knocked out the Apia Leichhardt Tigers in the New South Wales FFA Cup qualifiers, which are effectively the precursor for this Waratah Cup competition. Marconi have made a good start here. Speranza looks long. Falls here to Vela. Now Cardozo can trigger Giorgio Speranza into Yanni Nicolau. Good battle that one against Luis Michio. Michio just about did enough there. It is going to be a corner to Marconi, but Giorgio Speranza, talk about his experience in this competition. Go back to 2010, and he was a part of the Marconi side that won the only time they have won the Waratah Cup. And they beat Spirit FC. Giorgio Speranza was a part of that team. And he's been prominent early on, raiding down the left-hand side. Richie Cardozo's over the resulting corner. Goes inside. Mitchell with a punch. Giorgio Speranza gets the header in. Marconi on the front foot. Confidence up after taking the lead. Mentioned that 2010 Marconi side, the victorious side over Spirit FC. Two other players who are part of the squad this season, Sean O'Connell and Mitch Malia. Neither of them featuring tonight. They were both part of that success in 2010. And Richie Cardozo looking to make it 3 cup finals in a row for him. As Parkhouse comes forward. Fouled there by Millgate. Stephen Lucas just having a chat. So it's a set piece here to Manly United. Marconi won it in 2010. Manly United had their only success in 2011 in this competition. 4-0 win over the Mounties Wanderers. They have been runners-up on 4 occasions though, Manly. And if they're to be in the final on July 14, looking for an equaliser here. Panjurovic with a lovely ball! Terrific set piece, that one. Kieran Paul was the player flying in there. In fact, it was Luis Michio. A lovely tail on that from Dejan Panjurovic. Michio coming in from that far side. Couldn't quite wrap the head around it. Yuli goes long, hits the chest of Cardozo. Referee waves play on. Panjurovic again. Lovely technique and touches from him. Now Ashton Bringing one of the youngsters in, McGrath. Into it is Dom Ferguson, who then spreads it out to Paul. Giorgio Esperanza does the work defensively. Such a great history, this competition. The original version of the New South Wales knockout competition. Started in 1957, the Federation Cup. Became the Waratah Cup in 1991. Blacktown City were the first team to win the Waratah Cup. A team that plays here regularly. Hakoa is such a proud record in this competition. The most successful side in the Waratah Cup with 7 victories. They're featured in the last 2. It's Marconi coming forward through Connor Evans, and he's popped up on the left-hand side. Nice cutback! Vela! What a great opportunity that was to extend the lead on the left foot. Excellent work from Connor Evans, driving down that left-hand side. It's been a productive avenue so far for Marconi. Now Pelicanos. Marconi in control of proceedings in the opening 25 minutes. Hit the back of the net after 18 minutes through a penalty from Marco Jesic. If you've just joined us, pleasure to have your company. Tony Tanous with you across the Football New South Wales channels, Football New South Wales YouTube, NPL New South Wales Facebook, and it's Giorgio Esperanza again. What a performance so far from him. Again, he gets into the box. Attack is the best form of defence against Charles Mendy. Certainly, Marconi have gone to school on that round 15 clash away to Cromer Park, forcing Mendy to do the defensive work early on. Clever work tactically, not allowing the Manly wide man to get too much possession. Kieran Paul pulled down there, must be a yellow card, the first of the match. It's Brandon Vela, professional foul. 26 minutes, first play to go into the book. Penjurovic over the top, looking for the youngster McCarthy. Tries the first time effort, didn't have too much support. Tried to volley the 17-year-old. What a great opportunity for him. Manly Junior. Back in the Northern Beaches after that stint at Sydney FC. Didn't quite work out for him there. He's come back in. Marconi again raiding down the left-hand side. Giorgio Esperanza high up the pitch again. Starting as a left back, but he's been very advanced in the early going. And it's another opportunity to set up here from a long throw. Millgate's the target. Again, he gets the flick on. Yanni Rochi Cardozo at the back post. Battling away there. Strong challenge from Roberto Esperanza. Millgate, we usually see him launch some of those throw-ins. Such an adaptable force he is at those long throws. Can be the provider and also the man on the end of things. We've seen Peter Tsakenis go with the latter option so far in this game. Marconi sitting in 9th spot on the NPL ladder. 3 behind Manly United, so still much to play for in their season. They've got a huge game on the weekend away to the Sutherland Sharks, who've moved up above them onto 22 points. So some massive games. They all are in the New South Wales Men's 1 competition of the National Premier League. Remember, all the games live for you across the weekend. Great to have your company tonight for this TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup semi. Manly looking to hit back. A strong challenge there on Mendy. Stephen Lucas just going across. Roberto Esperanza, the man giving away the foul there. Mendy back up on his feet, but you can see a bit of a limp. Hopefully for Paul D, he can shake that off. Does have a couple of attacking options on the bench. Certainly if they can't find an equaliser, like Sir Scott Balderson, Max Rogers, Luca Kmet. But it's Parkhouse here. Nice ball inside. The attempted flick on there at the near post was down Panjurovic. Marconi getting bodies in the way. They can clear. The winner of our 2 semi-finals. It'll be a date on Sunday, 14th of July. Lock that one into your diaries. We'll certainly keep you posted on the venue for that one, the times. Chance here for Manly. Excellent shot there. Ferguson it was. And Vekic had to get down sharp to his left. Not a bad effort at all from Dom Ferguson. Good touch to bring it under control. Good few minutes here from Manly. Starting to create a couple of half chances. That was the best of the lot. Now they've got a corner. Mendy's one of the targets. Mitchell's also in there. Goes over the top. Can the youngster Ashton keep it in? Not quite. Bit too heavy on that one from Parkhouse. But a good sider there from the central midfielder Dom Ferguson. Mentioned Manly been runners-up in this competition. 4 occasions. 2007, 2009, and the 2 recent finals in 2014 and 2016. Marconi have 1 win, 1 runners-up. That was all the way back in 1972. What was then called the Federation Cup. And they lost that one to St George FC, who are featured in our other semi-final at Sydney United Sports Centre. It remains 0-0 there. Certainly be keeping you posted on progress. Remember, if we are locked in any of these semi-finals at the end of full time, we go to 30 minutes of extra time. Still level. We'll be going to the penalty spot. Panjurovic trying to break out of midfield there. The ball a little too straight from McGrath. Roberto Esperanza happy to shield that one out. Mentioned those attacking options for Paul D on the bench. They've also got Brad McDonald, along with Max Rogers, Luca Kmet, Scott Balderson, the reserve keeper, Mackenzie Siren. As for Peter Tsakenis' side, got a bit of defending to do here. They win a free kick. Their bench, the reserve keepers Christian Sekatkovsky. And they've got the speedster in James Andrew. A couple of youngsters, young attackers, Marty Fernandez and Damien Sekenis. Both players recently in the headlines, scoring important goals. And also James Baldacchino, player who moved across from the Wollongong Wolves in the off-season, on the bench for Peter Sekenis' side. There's Roberto Speranza with a lovely switch of play. Looking for Jesic, who couldn't bring it under control. And now Kieran Paul, quickly in transition now for Manly. Looking for the switch out. Alert defending at the back post from Pelikanos. Lovely turn from Yuli in the midfield. Marconi knocking it around nicely through the middle. Eventually, though, Manly get enough numbers in there. Break up the play through Ashton. Just joined us, 1-0 it remains. Tony Tanus with you across the Football New South Wales channels. Marconi with the opening goal in 18 minutes from the penalty spot through Marko Jesic. Manly's best chance coming from their central midfielder from long range. Dom Ferguson testing Nenad Vekic. Starting to build a bit of possession. Now it's at the feet of McCarthy. Tries his luck from range. Couldn't get that on target. Showing his confidence though. Not shy to shoot, the youngster. Fortunate news for Manly United fans. Jamie Glover, who's so impressive in that elimination final against the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Fortnight ago, scored the sealing goal for Manly. Jamie Glover, unfortunately, breaking a collarbone on the weekend in the under-20s game. Broke it in 3 places. I believe he had his operation last night. If you are watching, Jamie, wish you all the best. Speedy recovery. Might be the end of his season, but he certainly made a mark, given the opportunity by Paul D to step up. Similar with the likes of Finn Ashton, Lachlan McGrath, Harry McCarthy tonight. Saw Max Rogers get a start in that elimination final against the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. Got a player down injured on the far side for the Marconi Stallions. Let's hope that's nothing too serious. So many games for these sides, not only Waratah Cup fixtures. If they win this one, they've got the final on the 14th of July. Many important games to come, of course, in the New South Wales National Premier League. 5 rounds remain there. Game coming up on the weekend. And both these sides, of course, featured in the FFA Cup. We saw the draw a week ago, the round of 32. Manly drawing Mount Druitt Town Rangers, a replay of the Waratah Cup elimination final. That'll be on the 24th of July. So a big date for Manly. Also Marconi, who will feature in the FFA Cup as well. They're away to South Hobart. Trip to Tasmania. That game will be on the 31st of July. So big games to come for both these sides. Not only here in the Waratah Cup, but of course in the NPL New South Wales and the FFA Cup. Battling on the 3 fronts. And that's why you see a few bodies rested today. Some Important games coming up on the weekend, as I said. Still very strong starting 11s and benches tonight. Showing you the growing depth and quality of this competition. Penjurovic. McGrath sharing it around with Mitchell. Marconi trying to press high here, forcing Mitchell long. Pelikanos ahead of Parkhouse. Nice feet from Yulee. Nicolau can't quite connect with Cardozo, and now Manly can go forward in transition. Mitchell and Parkhouse combining. Parkhouse still going. Now it's with McCarthy. Nice turn from Mitchell. Ashton. Patient play here from Manly. Playing out from that pressure on the left-hand side. Can they unlock Marconi here? Gone back down the left through Parkhouse, who drives at Pelikanos. Parkhouse, excellent defending again from Pelikanos. He's making the most of every opportunity he gets in the starting 11. Was a regular feature last season in the centre of defence. You might have a bit more defending to do here. Penjurovic over the resulting corner. In the 41st minute here at Hensley Athletic Field. Marconi lead 1-0. Manly over this set piece. Chance. That back post. Again, the target was Mitchell. Couldn't quite connect with that one, but a decent set piece. Penjurovic showing his quality over the dead ball on a couple of occasions already. No score yet at Edensor Park, Sydney United Sports Centre. Sydney United 58 and St George FC, the NPL2 side. Wally Charvel's team doing well to hold one of the big guns in the New South Wales National Premier League Men's 1. 0-0 in stoppage time there. We're in the final 5 minutes here. This game starting a little behind the one at Edensor Park. Paul trying to connect with his front line. Cardozo doing a good job to hold things up for Marconi. Couldn't quite connect though with Vela driving out of midfield. And now it's Penjurovic. So cultured at finding space in that midfield. Turns away from the pressure. Mendy just drifting into an offside position. Lance Greenshields right under his nose. Mentioned those FFA Cup games featuring these two sides. Of course, Marconi away to South Hobart. Manly away to Mount Druitt Town Rangers at Popondetta. The other FFA Cup game featuring the NPL New South Wales sides be a replay of the game at Edensor Park. St George FC drawing Sydney United. St George, though, will be at home for that one. That will be at Rockdale, Illendon on the 31st of July. So lock those two dates in. Manly on the 24th of July. And Marconi, St George and Sydney United on the 31st of July. So much action still to come across this season. The big news, of course, yesterday you would have heard that. Huge news for the New South Wales NPL competition with the grand final to be featured at Bankwest Stadium. What a great occasion that'll be. 31st of August. Save the date. Catching up with Mitch Malia here. Suspended for this one. He was part of that announcement yesterday along with Alex Sanchez and the competition's leading scorer, Thomas James. Three of the big big guns up front in this league. Of course, the battle not only for the top 5, 10 teams still harbouring realistic claims for not only the top 5, they'll be keen to be there on grand final day, 31st of August. What an occasion that'll be. Can't wait to bring you that one. Marconi, of course, going into the pre-season as one of the fancies. Massive recruitment drive from them. The likes of Evans, Speranza, Giorgio and Roberto. Zach Cancross coming across from Blacktown City. Nathan Milgate from Apia. Also Anthony Frangi. It's been an injury-riddled season for the player who really made a mark last season for Hakoah. As I said, great to see him back in training. Hopefully he can get back on the pitch before the end of the season. A couple of long-term injuries, not only Franchi, as we said, Connor Evans. Chance here for Manly through Mendy. Can they level before the break? Parkhouse it is who gets it across. Milgate had to be careful. Now Marconi can clear through Yuli and Vella. We're into stoppage time here at Hensley Athletic Field. Half time at Edensor Park. 0-0 it remains there. Certainly keep you posted on that one. Have Manly got enough time to build something up and create an opportunity before the break? Gallagher looking to get it down the right-hand side through Paul. And now he looks inside for Mendy. Almost got the touch there. Was looking for that combination with Panjurovic. So we said two of the danger men for Paul D. Now it's out with Parkhouse. Chance to cut inside. Parkhouse. Good work though. Again, it's Liam Yulee. He's been in terrific form for Peter Tsakenis. Central midfielder. Started the season slow, but hasn't he picked up in the last month or two? Liam Yulee been in great form. And showing that in the first half tonight. Got a bit of work to do here on Panjurovic, who has the last touch of the first half. The first half which saw Marconi take the lead from the penalty spot. Richie Cardozo won a penalty. A challenge coming from the youngster in McGrath. And up stepped Marko Jesic on 18 minutes to give the Marconi Stallions a 1-0 lead here in the TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup semi-final of 2019. We'll have a short break and be back with all the second half action. Be sure to join us from Hensley Athletic Field. And it's a welcome back to Hensley Athletic Field for this TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup semi-final. Tony Tanous with you across the Football New South Wales channels. Thanks for your company tonight. If you just joined us, it is the Marconi Stallions who will be running from right to left. They have a 1-0 lead courtesy of a Marko Jesic penalty on 18 minutes. And it's up to Manly here to mount a comeback in this second half. Let's see what unfolds here. The prize in the Waratah Cup final on July 14 at stake. Marconi getting off to an excellent start in this one, controlling the opening half of the first half. Manly, though, working their way back into it, started to create a couple of chances towards the end of that first half. Encouraging signs for Paul D's side. They'll look to pick up where they left off in this second period. Flag's gone up. Parkhouse it was, trying to get beyond the back four of Marconi there. As I said, I'll keep you posted on proceedings across at Adensa Park, where Sydney United have taken a lead early in the second half. 50th minute. United, Miro Vlastelitz's side taking the lead. The NPL 1 side over the NPL 2 side. Certainly have the work ahead of them to come back in that one. Wally Shavel's side visiting his old home ground. Former Socceroos and NSL great Wally Shavel, coach at St George FC. Jesic cuts inside. See what he was trying to do there. Get it across to the back post. Yanni Nicolau is the target. No Mitch Malia, as we said, for Peter Tsakinis' side. They've done well considering the news for Mitch Malia not very good. Hearing that it's a 4-game suspension as Manly come forward. Not a bad delivery from that far side. Parkhouse was looking for Mendy, couldn't quite connect. So that will be a challenge for Marconi if it is a 4-week suspension for Mitch Malia. Richie Cardozo playing in the number 9 role tonight. As we said, no Anthony Frangi just yet. Still out with a long-term injury. So down on options in that striking role. We do have the youngster, the son of the coach, Damien Tsakinis, who can play in that number 9 role. Has been scoring some cracking goals in the under-20s. He's on the bench tonight, Damien Tsakinis, along with another of the youngsters in Marty Fernandez, an attacking central midfielder. Scored a goal in that FFA Cup qualifier against Sydney Olympic. Here's Mendy though, now for Manly, deflected, does it go in? Chance now for Paul. The post coming to the rescue there for Marconi. Mendy it was, driving forward from the right-hand side. Took a deflection and wrong-footed Vekic, who might just have got a hand to that. Post in the end coming to his rescue. And Manly almost hit back early in the second half. Here's Giorgio Speranza, so prominent in the first period. Getting into the box, working back though, Dom Ferguson. Mitchell rushed into a clearance. Marconi pressing high, trying to keep the pressure on. Now it's Yuli. Connor Evans. Interesting to see how many minutes Connor Evans features here. As we said, it's his first start back in the first 11. Has played in the 20s last couple of weeks. Penjurovic, who came to life in the elimination final in the second half against Mount Druitt Town Rangers. They need their star attacking central midfielder to produce the goods here in the second half. Paul D's side takes the corner quickly. Parkhouse to the back post. Mitchell so often the target for Manly. Now Ferguson gets it back to Mitchell. Favours his left foot. Now the in-swinging cross cut out well by Giorgio Speranza. Mitchell down to Mendy, who can drive into the box. Starting to cause some havoc. Charles Mendy, player who came across to New South Wales from Queensland. Ball coming in there from Ferguson. Well defended though. Millgate getting to it ahead of Parkhouse. 1-0 the score here. 1-0 the score at Adensor Park. Tony Tanous with you here across the Football New South Wales channels. Thanks for your company. We're at Hensley Athletic Field for the TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup semi-final. As Marconi pinched the ball high. Now they look to get Yesic in down the left-hand side. Appeals for handball there against the youngster. McGrath. Play on's the call though. McGrath working back and now it's still on. Yesic trying to find Julie. The appeals coming. Not only from the players on the crowd, good travelling contingent. It is a home game for Marconi. There's a fair distance from the home ground out at Fairfield. Supporters have travelled to Hensley. At the moment their team has the lead, but they thought they had good claims there for a penalty. Yesic, the player involved. "51 minutes have elapsed. 1-0 it remains. Manly working back through Mitchell. And now they can transition through Kieran Paul. He's got Mendy available on the right-hand side. McCarthy's further on. Mendy wants to go into the box. Millgate at the second attempt can clear. Good first touch from Mitchell. Driving forward. The left back. Into the box he goes. Now it's at the feet of Penjurovic. Strong work though. Roberto Speranza it was. Experienced central defender. Marshalling things at the back for Marconi. Forward comes Michio, finds Parkhouse, gets beyond his defender, in it comes. Vekic alert to the cross though. Starting to venture forward down that left-hand side, Manly. Marconi looking to hit down their own left-hand side. Yesic, the battle with Kieran Paul. One of the more experienced defenders right back. Roberto Speranza's in strong. Mention those runs to the Waratah Cup semi-final. Marconi beating Abbotsford FC 7-1 in round 4. Then in round 5 it was Ponds FC, a 5-1 win there. Round 6 here at Hensley against Harkoa, 3-0 win. Fernandez, Yuli and James Andrew the scorers there. Spenjurovic comes forward now for Manly. Mendy with a chance to get the ball to the back post. No one there though. Parkhouse had drifted inside and it was comfortable in the end for Yanni Nicolau. Responsible work from him. Getting back for Marconi to help out in defence. Has played quite regularly in the defence for Marconi over the past couple of seasons. Showing that defensive responsibility as Mendy comes forward again. Starting to get more involved now for Manly. Gets it out to Parkhouse, who can drive forward at Pelikanos, and Vekic at the near post. Important intervention there from the keeper. Panjurovic was on the spot trying to poach it away. In the end, a double save from Marconi, and it's a corner here. Better signs this for Paul D's side. Starting to get a bit of room on both flanks. Mendy and Panjurovic growing in influence, as is Parkhouse. Mitchell is one of the targets. This time it's at the back post! The volley coming from the youngster Finn Ashton. In the end, Marconi getting bodies in the way, and they can try and counter-attack. Cardozo holding it up. Ashton working back defensively. Good battle this one. Play-on's the call. In the end, it is a free kick to Manly, and they can keep the pressure on. Pelikanos has stayed down after that piece of defending in the box from Marconi. Can give you an update from Edensor Park. St George have hit back. Just confirm that score for you. Sydney United taking the lead there. On 50 minutes. St George hitting back 10 minutes later. So Wally Savo's side said the great run that they have had in the Cups this season, knocking out Apia on their way to the FFA Cup round of 32. Their first visit on the national stage, a team that, of course, steeped in football tradition. Manly with an excellent ball there from Parkhouse, but Millgate taking control in the box for Marconi. Strong defensive header. Pelikanos limps back on. We'll keep an eye on him. The right back for Marconi, who have a bit of defending to do. Chance here for Paul to go long. Into the box he goes. Millgate's there to do the defending. Panjurovic with a good touch on the chest. Ferguson looking to get it in behind for Paul and Mendy. Forcing the defensive work from Roberto Esperanza. Now Giorgio Esperanza going in too aggressively there. High feet on Dom Ferguson. And it's another chance here for Manly. They're starting to mount some pressure, more and more set pieces building up. Seen a couple of good deliveries from Parkhouse. Can he find the spot here? Gallagher's gone forward as well, the central defender. Michio's in there. Goes near post. Good header again from Millgate. Vella on the edge of the box. Happy to clear. It's been a good start to the second period. We're about to see the first change here. It will be Peter Tsakenis who goes to his bench. Richie Cardozo, the player summoned. 57 minutes have elapsed. That's the end of the night for Richie Cardozo, involved in the key moment of the match so far, winning that penalty which Marko Jesic tucked away on 18 minutes. But it will be the speedster James Andrew, first player to come on for Marconi. Player with a terrific record, not only in the Cup this season, but we've seen him in the FFA Cup over the years. Scored some key goals for Blacktown City. This year for Marconi, he really has been the Cup's king for them. Scored the opening goal in that round 7 game against Sydney Olympic. Mentioned he scored here against Hakoah as well. So James Andrew has a great reputation in the Cups. But for now, it is another set piece. Another opportunity here for Manly. Can they find an equaliser? Panjurovic is over the dead ball. This time it's a variation to the near post. Again, Milgate has been so important defensively at these set pieces. Shuts down Gallagher. And Marconi can clear. A live defending there. Looks like James Andrews come over to the left side of the attack with Marko Jesic going into the number 9 role. And here he is laying it down to the midfielder in Brandon Vella. Dom Ferguson just getting a last warning, it looks like. Stephen Lucas right on the spot there to sort out that spot fire. An hour has elapsed here. Tony Tudus with you on the Football New South Wales channels. TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup semi-final. It's Marconi have a 1-0 lead. Been on the back foot in this second period. This man's been lively. Mendy. This time he gives it up in transition. Yanni Nicolau can try keep it here through Jesic. Can't quite keep that one in. On that far side. 1-1 it remains over at Denzel Park. So we're about to see a second substitution. Pelikanos is the player. We saw him go down 5 or so minutes ago. And he's been replaced by the youngster in Damien Tsakenas. Talk about the form that he's been in. Scored some absolute bombs in the under-20s for Marconi. And he comes on. He's been doing the job whenever he's been given the opportunity in the first team. Son of Coach Peter. Starting to really make headway. Given an opportunity, as I mentioned earlier, lots of injuries in that front third. And the reshuffle here sees Yanni Nicolau move to right back. James Andrews moved over to the right. Jesic back out on the left, and here he is, Jesic! Can't quite get his header on target. So Jesic on the left side of attack. James Andrew on the right with Tsakenas in the number 9 role. Yanni Nicolau back to right back. Here's Yuli having to go all the way back to his keeper in Vekic. Long he goes looking for Tsakenas. Vella picking up the loose ball in the midfield. And now it's a chance in behind. Andrew it is! The speedster, James Andrew. First real involvement in the attack. And you saw the impact that he can have. As I said, scored the opening goal against Sydney Olympic in that round 7 FFA Cup qualifier. Scored a couple of goals, of course, in an FFA Cup quarter-final against the West Sydney Wanderers for Blacktown City a couple of years ago. Here's Mendy. Well shut down though by Roberto Speranza. And now it's in the midfield through Ashton. This time he gives it up. His distribution's generally been very good. And now it's through Andrew. Chance to get it through to Jesic. Takes the first time effort. Straight at the keeper in Mitchell. Marconi looking dangerous. Fresh legs in the front third. Andrew and Tsakenas have come on. That time Ashton almost punished. Finish not quite there. Manly certainly starting the second half, the better of the two sides. It's been a good few minutes here for Marconi. Game in the balance. Marconi looking to extend their lead. Manly looking for the equaliser. This time Ashton happy to play back. A safer option. McGrath gets it into the feet of Panjurovic. Lovely feet again. Appeals for a free kick. Play on was the call though. Marconi again can come forward on the counter attack. Yesichitty's on the left hand side. Tries to take on McGrath. Stands it up to the back post. Velo is the player getting forward out of midfield. Working back though diligently was Adam Parkhouse. He's enjoying his football back at Manly. Had a stint in the A-League at Wellington. Phoenix, of course. Didn't quite work out for him there. Paul D certainly spoke about that earlier in the season. Parkhouse enjoying his football life back on the Northern Beaches. Showing what an engine he has there, getting back on the defensive work. Marconi, though, with the resulting corner. Chance here for Millgate. Know how strong he is. That time he couldn't get his header on target. Looks like Paul D will go to the bench for the first time tonight. Scott Balderson, the player about to come on for the youngster. Harry McCarthy, started the game with lots of energy. Hasn't seen as much of the possession in this second half. Balderson's the player who comes on. But ball coming in from that right hand side. Yanni Nicolau straight at Dylan Mitchell. The hero, of course, for Manly United in the penalties in the 2017 NPL New South Wales Grand Final win over the RPL Leichhardt Tigers. If we are to get to penalties here, Manly need an equaliser. Still plenty of time, of course. Midway point of the second half. Marconi continued to lead by 1-0. Two times they have met. It's been Manly this season. Manly who've come out on top. Flag's gone up against Parkhouse. Coming back from an offside position there. Back in round 4 at Marconi. There's late drama there. A penalty deep into stoppage time. Brendan Chalakian putting that one away. Nathan Millgate earning a red card. Lots of drama in that particular game. Back in round 4. Pulsating contest it was. And then Manly did the double. Only a few weeks ago, round 15 at home. 1-0 victory courtesy of a goal from Charles Mendy. Certainly Manly have the edge in this contest since 2014. Played 8 games. No draws between the two sides. Manly have won 5. Marconi have won 3. Ferguson doing just enough to hold up Yesic there. Tried the Maradona turn. And then Evans sprayed his pass. Marconi, of course, have made those 2 substitutions. Tsakenis and Andrew coming on. Wonder what that means for Connor Evans. Not sure if the initial plan was for him to play 90 minutes. And here he is picking up the ball in the midfield. Great to see him back on the pitch, as we mentioned. Haven't quite seen the best of him, of course, the last couple of years. Bit unsettled last year at Blacktown. And this year, spent most of it on the sideline. So it's great to see him back. Hopefully for him, can find some form between now and the end of the season. And we see the best of Connor Evans back in the New South Wales top flight next season. Mentioned that 2016 Waratah Cup final, which Manly lost to Sydney United. 7 survivors still in the squad from that side. Kieran Paul, Dylan Mitchell, Travis Orchard, Brendan Chalakian, Adam Parkhouse, Ferguson and Pendurovic. Certainly if they can get an equaliser here, take it to extra time perhaps, get through to the final, chance for a bit of revenge. Chance to make it a replay of that final. Of course, if Sydney United can get through over at Adensel Park and Manly can get through here, will be a replay of that 2016 Waratah Cup final. Last 2 years it's been Apia versus Harkoa. 1 victory apiece. Marconi haven't been there since 2010. They're looking to extend their lead here through James Andrew, foraging forward, and it's deflected off a Manly player. Looks like it might be the skipper there, the unfortunate player. James Andrew with the impact. Off the bench down the right-hand side. Excellent delivery from the midfield. And James Andrew, talk about his impact in the Cups. And there he is. Not sure he'll get the credit for that one, but he certainly deserves the credit for producing the penetrating drive down the right-hand side. And Manly turning it into their own net. Marconi taking a 2-0 lead here, 71 minutes in to the TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup semi-final. And they've now got 1 foot in the final. Still time for Manly, of course. Can't write them off. Yes, he's spotting Dylan Mitchell off his line. Trying his luck from his own half. Excellent work from Marconi. Lovely switch out of midfield. James Andrew was driving beyond Lewis Michio. Manly with plenty of work to do now. Paul D's side. He's brought on Scott Balderson. Got the youngster also in Max Rogers available. Looked very lively in that elimination final against the Mount Druitt Town Rangers. It's been a standout performer for Manly. In fact, across the under-20s competition. Certainly one of the options. The other attacking option, the youngster, Luka Kmet. Central midfielder by trade. Can play either in the holding role or the attacking number 10 role. Connor Evans, strong work from him, trying to shake off the youngster. And Finn Ashton, who just did enough to hold him up. Excellent work. And there's strong defending from Yulee on the youngster in Ashton. Nice pivot from him just to get away and draw the challenge. Can give you an update from Sydney United Sports Centre. 2-2 it is there. Sydney United taking the lead, making it 2-1 on 74 minutes. St George hitting back on 79 minutes there. Keep you posted on progress there as we enter the last 10 minutes. Here we have 15 minutes remaining. Marconi with a 2-0 lead. It's been a great performance so far. They weathered the early onslaught in the second half from Manly, Penjurovic and Mendy in particular. And they've come back and they've looked dangerous with the fresh legs of Andrew and Tsakenis. Referee bringing the play back. Foul in the back play on James Andrew. Tried to play a bit of advantage. Marconi weren't able to keep it, so he's brought it back for a free kick. Liam Yule's over this one. Couple of years out of the top flight, of course. Marconi back in the top flight last season. Now they're looking to extend their lead. Millgate, we talk about his impact, not only at set pieces, but in the cups. Showing his strength there. And it looks like it might be a double substitution here. Paul D's going to empty his bench. Mendy's one of the players that will make way. Looks like Max Rogers and maybe the youngster in Luka Kmet. Just confirm that. He's brought on Max Rogers on the right side of the attack for Mendy. So like-for-like swap there. And Luka Kmet, attacking central midfielder, has gone in alongside Penjurovic. So the tactical adjustment from Paul D. He's gone to two tens there. Dom Ferguson just holding the midfield alone now. And Penjurovic alongside Luka Kmet. Shifted the balance of that midfield. Here's Parkhouse. Dispossessed though. Yuli has been very strong. Said the form that he's been in. Now he's laid it off to Yesic, who couldn't quite keep that one down. Excellent transition again from Marconi. Yesic taking the first time effort. Liam Yuli continuing his excellent form. Assistant coach Peter Papoithius, the man they call Flea, certainly speaking about the form that he's been in. He continues it. He believes he's good enough to move back up to the A-League. It's been a real feature of this season's top flight. Wants him to stay disciplined and focused. Liam Yuli. For all the talk of Marconi's recruitment drive in the off-season, some big names coming in. It has been many of the youngsters that have really stepped up this season. Talk about Yuli, Yanni Nicolau again. Of course, Marty Fernandez has impressed whenever he's been a part of the side. We've seen Lachlan Sepping, part of the Joeys. Get some minutes, of course. He's not on the bench tonight, but saw the youngster earlier here. Damien Tsakenis. He's been doing it ever so well in the under-20s. He's even scored for the first grade side as well. So certainly promoting some of the youngsters. One of the great features of the New South Wales top flight. Here is Damien Tsakenis. Lovely turn from him. Shook off two defenders there with a sharp turn. Penjurovic been one of the best for Manly. Hasn't quite been able to fashion the opportunities, but looked ever so good in possession. Two it remains at Adensa Park. That game, if it remains that way, we'll go into extra time. St George side, led by one of the NPL champions of New South Wales, the experienced Hasakil. It's been a real part of the success that they've had. Certainly taking it to the NPL 1 Giants in Sydney United. Here, Manly have a chance to peg one back. As we approach the final 10 minutes here at Hensley Athletic Field. Marconi lead by 2-0. Manly with a set piece. Benjurovic goes in, the flick on. Now it falls to Parkhouse on his weaker right foot there. Vekic happy to take his time. Got Roberto Speranzas down here. Looks like it might be some cramps. Marconi have a defender in Baldacchino on the bench. I still have the youngster, the young attacker in Marty Fernandez. Peter Tsakinis has used 2 of his substitutes, James Andrew and Damien Tsakinis. So let's see how Roberto Speranza recovers here. As I said, James Baldacchino, the player who moved over from Wollongong in the off-season. He's an option on the bench. With that 2-goal buffer, Peter Tsakinis might be tempted just to bring on the extra defender. Big weekend coming up, as I said, for both these sides in the NPL New South Wales men's. Manly will be at home Sunday against Sydney Olympic. Sydney Olympic moving into the top 5. That win over Rockdale on the weekend. Manly, of course, suffering a big 5-0 loss, having had Travis Orchard sent off. But they will have the likes of Orchard, also Brendan Chalakian, Joe Fox, Sam Wilson, the other players will be back on the weekend. Crunch game, that one. Looking forward to calling that from Cromer Park. Join me for that, 3 p.m. on Sunday. Ball over the top. Good work, Marconi here, just relieving the pressure, eating the seconds away. Good work from Tsakinis, can't quite keep it in though. Bit of possession though from Marconi, just to eat away the time. And it looks like they'll be the team that will be joining us on July 14. Certainly keep an eye on all our NPL New South Wales, Football New South Wales websites, social pages, all that news about the venue to be announced shortly. Saw Marconi take on Sydney United on the weekend, 0-0 draw. Excellent performance it was from Marconi, given they played for 45 minutes with only 10. There's a chance we could get a replay of that game if Sydney United can get over the top of St George. That game headed for extra time at this stage. Marconi looking to extend their lead. Mitchell coming and punching. St George, though, have had a habit in recent years of scoring late goals in the Cups. Good work here from Giorgio Speranza. Marconi just keeping possession. It's been an excellent performance. The likes of Giorgio Speranza, very influential. Liam Yulee as well. Nathan Milgate's been ever so strong. Hasn't been a bad performer, in fact. Great to see Connor Evans alongside Brandon Vella in that engine room with Liam Yulee. Central defender Speranza, Milgate. Type of performance you expect from some of the experienced players. They weren't at the races. They played here against Hakoah a couple of weeks ago. A game they lost 1-0. Wasn't the best of performances. They've come back here. controlled the proceedings in the main. With 5 minutes remaining, they have a 2-0 lead. And it looks like it's heartbreak for St George FC. A 90th minute. In fact, a stoppage time goal, it sounds, from Sydney United, who lead 3-2. We'll confirm that score for you. But Sydney United looks like they might have their foot in the door of the TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup final. And as I said, what a final it'll be if it's the neighbours in Marconi Stallions. A local Western Sydney derby in the TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup final for 2019. Sydney United, of course, not full-time there. You understand that they have taken a 3-2 lead over St George FC. Certainly let you know about the final result if that's how it remains. United have tasted success in the Waratah Cup on 6 occasions, so they'll have a chance to equal Harcoa if they do get through to the final. Marconi, the solitary win coming in 2010. We're into the final 5 minutes here, and we're well into stoppage time at Adenso Park. What a night it's been. Hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Tony Tanous with you. You're on the Football New South Wales YouTube page or NPL New South Wales Facebook. Let us know where you've been watching the games from. Your impressions, thoughts on a potential man of the match in this one. Some strong performances set for Marconi, the likes of Giorgio Esperanza, Liam Yulee, Nathan Milgate, all very good. There's Yulee again coming across to do the defensive work, becoming quite the cult hero among the Marconi faithful. Really enjoying his football, the smile on his face. And he's going to have a Waratah Cup final in a week and a half's time. Big occasion for many of these youngsters. What an occasion it will be. The opportunity for the first bit of silverware of 2019. Got a bit of defending to do. It's been a polished professional display defensively. Vekic called into action on a couple of occasions early in the second half. The post coming to his rescue on one particular occasion. Might have got a finger to that, certainly be claiming it. Peter Tsakenis will be very pleased with this display from his team. As for Manly, crunch time it will be on Sunday. As I said, they've just slipped out of the top 5. When they beat Marconi back in round 15, it was their entry into the top 5. Spent a couple of weeks there. And they've just slipped out on goal difference. Very tight battle, of course. Rockdale City still on 23 points. Olympic have gone above them on goal difference, on 3 teams on 23 points. And what a battle that is on Sunday, 3 p.m. Manly taking on Sydney Olympic. Join me for that one from Cromer Park, across our Football New South Wales YouTube and NPL New South Wales Facebook channels. Part of the 445 live streams. There's Damien Tsakenis. Seen him strike from range, ready this season. Can Manly get themselves a late goal here? Balderson applying the pressure on Vekic. Now it falls to Luka Kmet. Gets it out to Max Rogers. Left footer with a nice ball inside. Milligan, though, been strong all night. Not much has got past Nathan Milgate. Might have said Milligan there. He's been in the news this week, of course. Signing with Southend. Nathan Milgate, star of the New South Wales NPL. And here's a chance for Balderson. Vekic happy to let that one dribble past his goal. And it looks like it'll be a late final change here for Peter Tsakenas. Happy to eat the seconds up. Still in stoppage time over at Adenso Park. Sydney United leading there by 3-2. And it will be the central midfielder. He's had another very strong night in that engine room, Brandon Vella. Marconi's Player of the Year in 2018. And he's replaced by the youngster in Marty Fernandez. Scorer of the third goal for Marconi in that round 7 3-1 win over the Sydney Olympic side that took him into this Waratah Cup semi-final. Can he round off the scoring here? 2-0 Marconi lead. Fernandez with a lovely touch. And now he's on his left foot. Marty Fernandez goes on. Now it's in from Jesic. Looking to hit Tsakenas. Goes down. Might be a stray arm there. Perhaps accidental. It didn't look like much in it. As Max Rogers comes forward in transition through Kieran Paul. Now it's Balderson. Trying to combine with Panjurovic. Can confirm it is full time over at Adenso Park. Sydney United have done the job there. Late winner for them in a 3-2 victory. St George showing what they've produced in the Cups right throughout the past couple of seasons. Lots of spirit. The comeback from them to make it 1-1 and then 2-2. But in the end, United have got the win. Certainly catch up on all of our social pages for all the match reports. But Sydney United are the first team into the Waratah Cup final of 2019. Certainly looking forward to bringing you the coverage along with Adam Santarossa on July 14. What a game that will be. Sydney United likely to be taking on Marconi with only minutes remaining here. Tsakenas just getting a bit of treatment in the back play. As I said, a stray arm just catching him on the face. What a battle it will be. Marconi versus Sydney United. Peter Tsakenas' side versus Mirov Lastelits's side. Two of the big guns in Australian football historically. Parkhouse trying to get a late consolation here for Manly. Max Rogers gets it inside. Working back Liam Yulee. He's been terrific, as we said, in that engine room. Stephen Lucas. Can't be too much more to go here. Having another look at his watch. Manly with the throw. Milgate. In fact, it's Connor Evans. Happy to drop and do the screening alongside Liam Yulee. Safely into the arms. Luka Kmet it was. Vekic gathers. So be sure to catch up on all the news in the wash-up of these semi-finals as we look ahead to the TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup final of 2019. Good feet here from the youngster Kmet, showing the potential that he has. As the ball goes out to that left-hand side. Parkhouse just kept toiling. Haven't been able to quite produce that finish of Manly. Certainly been a good second half display from them, particularly early on. Provided plenty down that left-hand side. And they've got corner here. In it goes. Again, it's Millgate for the upteenth time. And that's the end of the action here. It is the Marconi Stallions who march on into the 2019 TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup Final. A dominant, terrific display here against the Manly United side. The goals coming from Marko Jesic on 18 minutes from the penalty spot. Richie Cardozo was the player who won the penalty. Jesic stepped up and tucked it away. Manly made a go of it early in the second half. They were denied on one occasion by the post. Nenad Vekic also with a couple of strong saves. But then the pendulum swung back in Marconi's favour. The substitution of James Andrew along with Damien Tsakenis adding thrust to the forward line. And they were able to get one in transition. James Andrew, the Cup's king, with an explosive run down the right-hand side. The cup back to Gallagher. And it was deflected off the Manly defender into the back of the net. And Marconi sealed a 2-0 victory. They will play Sydney United 58 in the Waratah Cup Final. That will be on July 14. The venue time will soon be announced by Football New South Wales. So certainly keep an eye out on the pages for all the news and information and build up to that Waratah Cup Final. What a game it promises to be. They've met twice already this season. Marconi winning the first occasion 5-0 at their home ground. Terrific contest, that one. And then on the weekend, on Sunday, only a couple of days ago, it was a 0-0 draw when Mitch Malia was sent off. Mouth-watering contest awaits, but from Hensley Athletic Field, Tony Tanous wrapping up the 2019 TAFE New South Wales Waratah Cup semi-finals, where Marconi Stallions have beaten Manly United by 2-0.